Hi everyone, this is Ghalib, and you are watching me live here on YouTube. This is my English channel where I do one live stream a week in English. So today we are conducting a special live stream with Soleil. Soleil is an Algerian, French Algerian ex-Muslim. He is he lives in France, but he comes from Algeria and he has left Islam, and he is an atheist who has been an atheist for a very long time. He also has a channel that I have put the link of that channel in this video, so you can click and go and subscribe to his channel. And he's creating some fantastic content in the French language, so anyone who understands the French language can go there and subscribe to Soleil's channel, and you can learn what he's saying there. So today we are going to learn his personal story, why he left Islam, and what was the transition like. How does he feel now? What was his life like before he was when before he left Islam? So all of that, and in between, we are also going to ask him about how the Muslims and Islam behaves in France, and also what happens in Algeria, and how do Algerian Muslims take Islam. Because when we see Muslims belonging to different countries in the world, we see some of them take their religion very seriously, and some take it a little bit less seriously. Some are quite liberal, but the others are very extreme in their attitude towards Islam. So we are trying to explore all of that, and I think it's going to be a new thing for a lot of you who follow my channel, and we are going to talk to him. So Soleil, I'd like to welcome you here. It's a pleasure to have you, and I'm excited to learn about your story. That's going to be great. Yeah. So how are you
Thank
doing?
you. I'm fine, thank you. I was a little anxious because I never did my testimony in English because when I speak English with Harry Sultan or with Apostate Aladdin, it's only 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But now I will speak English a long time, so I'm a little worried.
No, no, no. You,
But
because you have been
uh,
there in one of my streams for a very long time, and I
yeah.
think your English is better than my English. So
Oh,
no need to worry about that here. So Soleil, were you born in Algeria or you were born in France?
no, I was born in France. Uh,
Okay.
in the south of France. And
Hmm.
my parents, they were born in Algeria. And in fact, my parents, they immigrated to France and they met in France. But
Okay.
they have the same story. They had to leave Algeria because of poverty. My both of my parents in their homes, they were living really poor in Algeria. So they told me a lot of things, how they grew up, and they had no future in Algeria. It's what they told me. So they immigrated to France, and they met in France, and they found a job, and they worked really hard, and they could uh, they could have 4 kids with me. I am one of the 4 kids, and they could give us a better life than in Algeria.
So both
So
of
yeah,
your parents,
yeah.
are they very religious? Are they, how do they follow
No,
Islam? They're very strict in following Islam, or they are quite liberal?
my father is strict, but my mother, she doesn't care. She didn't care during all my childhood. She didn't care about Islam. She didn't wear the veil, but she believed in. She's a Muslimah, but she was not really strict. She didn't pray or anything. And just recently, my mother, she began to pray.
Yeah.
She began
So
to
now
pray
she's becoming
because
religious.
yeah, she's becoming more and more religious because she was worried about her health. She
Uh-huh.
during because she was worried because the doctor said maybe she had a cancer. you know,
Okay.
and so they made an analysis before the summer. It was 3 years ago, and because the doctors they were on vacation during the summer, they had the results in September. So during 2 months and a half, she was worried sick, and so she promised to pray to become more religious. And then in September, in fact, it was not a cancer; it was a false alert. It
Okay.
was nothing. She was not, but because she was worried about her health, she began to pray with my father.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So afterwards, she's just maintaining that promise. She's keeping that promise with Allah.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
she's
but
tired.
thankfully she does
I
not have
see.
cancer and she's okay. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really glad too. And if praying God brings her uh, a peace, I don't blame her. I want her to be happy. And yes. But however, I'm a little embarrassed because for me it's a false religion. But
Yeah.
but my parents they are old. They are nearly 60 years old. So maybe it is too late,
Yeah, it's
to
too late. Yeah, it's too late. This is what
yeah.
I feel for my parents as well. That it's too
Mhm,
late to convince them that religion is wrong because all their life what they've done is it would be a really sad thing to for someone to change in at that point in their lives because it would be
mhm,
just too depressing. Yeah.
mhm. So I
So
can tell you my childhood in Islam as I grew up as a Muslim. So
yeah.
I began to pray at 7 years old with my
Okay.
father, and I liked it. I liked it very much because my father, he never was with me. He was always working or outside. He's a hard-working man, so he
Mm-hmm.
never plays with me, nothing. But when I was
Mm-hmm.
7 years old, he taught me how to pray, and it was the only time he was with me. So I liked it because I was with my father. So yes, at 7 years old, I liked to pray. I was
Mm-hmm.
really, really little, and my father, he was huge. I have some memories about it. However, uh, just after that, he registered me in a mosque, in a Quranic school. Maybe you
Mm-hmm.
call it that way, Islamic school,
Madrasa
uh,
in a madrasa.
madrasa, but just for the Sunday, you know. For the
Yeah.
week,
Okay.
I used to go to public school in France normally,
Mm-hmm.
but the Sunday morning, every Sunday morning of the year, I had to go to the mosque to learn Arabic, how to write, read, and how to recite a lot of surahs. We say surat,
Uh-huh.
the chapters of the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
I had I had to learn it by heart. So I learned maybe 15 surahs, maybe.
Okay.
And so at the mosque, we had an imam who took care of us, all the boys. And
Mm-hmm.
and he had a stick, a
Yeah.
long
He would
stick.
beat you guys up or does that
Alors,
happen in France?
yeah, not really hard, but with his stick, he could whip our feet, our toes,
Okay. Uh-huh.
So it was not too strong. So I was not I was
Yeah.
not abused. So it was, but he used to whip with his stick.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little hurtful, but not too much, So
Mm-hmm.
yes, it was not too violent, but just it was a symbol. The symbolic of the stick is that if we don't learn uh, fast enough, he will, or uh, if we play, but we were,
Yeah.
7 years old, 8 years old. It was normal for us to play. I remember
Yeah.
in the mosque, with the boys, we used to fight, like
Yeah.
catch. How do you say? UFC, but yeah. So yeah,
So that imam was very strict. And
yeah,
was
yeah,
there a
yeah.
place for the girls to learn as well at the mosque, or it was only the boys?
No, there was a place for the girls. It was separated, and the
Okay.
girls they had a veil,
And
but
they had a
not so.
female teacher, or it was a imam who was teaching
Yes,
them too?
a
They had a
female
female.
teacher,
Uh,
a few female teachers for them. But
And
when I
do you
became,
know the
yeah,
students who do you know the students who were there at that time with you? How have they
yeah, yeah,
turned
yeah.
out? Are they extreme
Oh,
in Islam, or they are very liberal?
yeah.
Most of the
Really
students.
interesting question. Really interesting question. I never told it in my French podcast, but
Mhm.
it's a good question because one of of the students, a girl, her name is Miriam. Miriam,
Mhm.
she went to Syria to marry
Okay.
a jihadist.
Okay.
You
So
know,
one of them is an ISIS bride
yeah,
now. One of those girls
yeah,
who
yeah,
was in the school in
mhm,
the mosque school with you is now
mhm,
an
mhm.
ISIS bride.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
okay. Okay.
And she was
So
a friend, a dear friend of mine, and her father,
she was
he,
an Algerian, or what
yes,
uh, she was an
Algerian,
Algerian.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
born
but
in France,
French. Yeah,
Algerian born, French Algerian. And
yeah.
did she manage to come back to France, or she's still there in somewhere?
I don't know. We don't have news about her, but her
Uh,
father, he's really known in the city. He's because he's one of the responsible, one of the directors of the mosque.
okay.
He's really
So his own
yeah.
extremism is the reason why his daughter ended up an ISIS bride. My God.
No, himself, his father. No, no, her father is not an extremist. It's like he's known because he's well known. He has a good reputation.
But
Her
what
father.
I am saying is, Soleil, that
Mhm.
bringing his daughter to the mosque all the time
Yeah. Mhm.
has because this is a contribution enough, because if you
Yeah.
expose your children to extremism and they become a
Mhm.
jihadi, you are to blame.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It is really interesting because imams in France, they say they are the first against extremism. Like
mhm,
thanks to the mosques, thanks to the imams, Muslims they don't become jihadis, and that the jihadis they never went to the mosque. They don't know
mhm,
Islam. But for this example, it is false.
yeah,
This girl, she used to go to the mosque every Sunday. I used to see her every Sunday. She was a really beautiful and kind girl. And but they put in her head that Allah
yeah,
was God, and so she followed it. And yes, it isn't happy, but so there is
yeah.
this girl that went wrong. Then there was one friend of mine, a boy. He has my age, and he became crazy totally. He's not a jihadi, but
Uh-huh,
when he was he was a hafiz. He knows
uh-huh,
the entire Quran by heart,
uh-huh.
and everyone respected him. So, but when he was in high school, he did not well in his studies, so he became a little violent. He used to fight with the high schoolers, and then he wanted to to have a he wanted to be forgiven by Allah. So he went to the mosque every day, and his room at his mom's house, he throw everything out, and it was just one bed and one Quran.
Okay. Uh-huh.
It was he threw up. No, he threw his PlayStation, his TV. his phone, everything, his books. He threw everything, but just one bed and one Quran, and he used to stay in his room during days and days. So he became no life. He did not work, he did not study, nothing at all. So he used to go to the mosque every day, and he became crazy. And one moment he refused to speak. He didn't talk at all during months, and his voice changed. His voice, when he talked again, his voice was like a baby, like an infant, like a child, and he was a grown-up man. It is really scary, this man. But all the other friends in the mosque, they had a job, they moved on, but it was really two examples that it was really shocking. But all the others, they turned good, I think. But my sister, she went to the mosque and she became a Salafi. She has a jilbab and everything. So yeah.
Okay, so Soleil, how did all of these people who were at the mosque took this Danish cartoon and Charlie Hebdo thing?
At this moment, I was 18, so I did not go to the mosque anymore. And so I did not talk to them anymore. So I don't know personally, but I can tell you Muslims in France, how they saw it. Because me personally, when I saw the caricatures of Muhammad, I was hurt, really, because I saw the prophet that I loved with the head of a penis. His head was a form of a penis, Charlie Hebdo. And so for me, it was wrong, because at this time I was in university. I was 21 years old, and I saw the caricature in the library, the university library, because there was a lot of magazines, and I saw this one of Charlie Hebdo, and I said, "Wow, why are they doing this? It is wrong." And so at this moment, I started to leave Islam, but I didn't know it. But when I saw this caricature, I came back to Islam. It was because I think Charlie Hebdo, what they think is freedom, I respect, but it had a bad effect on people. When I saw it, I came back to Islam. I said, "Oh no, there are people, they hate us, Muslims. France doesn't like us." So I didn't like these caricatures, and every Muslims, it's the same. And maybe these caricatures, they created extremists. It is really because I think Charlie Hebdo, they didn't make one ex-Muslim. I think it is not a good strategy, because they didn't have like a teacher, a teacher, he explains to you, but Charlie Hebdo, it was just a cartoon, a drawing with a head of a penis. You don't think, it doesn't make you think. It is offensive, So in my mind, it is not a good strategy. But now I maybe it is good. I don't know, because But for me, Charlie Hebdo was not right for my journey.
So what started the change? What was because I think before you change, there would be a lot of questions in your mind. So where did these questions start from? What was the beginning of the doubt?
Maybe when I was 11 years old, my first doubt in my life, because in the mosque, the imam, he told us the story of Abraham. Abraham that he had a dream, and God told him in his dream, you must sacrifice your son. You must kill your son for me. And
Yeah.
Abraham, he woke up and he said, no, he's my son. I love him. I don't want to kill him. But it was the word of God. It was an order, a command. And his son, he's saying, go ahead, father. It is Allah's order. Kill
Mm.
me.
Kill me.
So
Yeah.
it is
Such a stupid
grotesque.
thing.
It
Yeah.
is so stupid because at this time, this story of Abraham is Surah 37, verse
Yeah.
102 until
Yeah.
111. So Surah
Uh-huh.
37, go read it. So the Abraham, he went outside. At the moment he put his knife on the neck of his son, I don't even know if he killed him, because if you read only the Quran, they never tell you if the son survived. They
Mm-hmm.
don't tell you. So at the moment where the father put the knife and does it, I think kills his son, the angel appears and says, "Yes, well done. You you did well. You followed Allah's order. You are a good Muslim. So here, take a sheep." So he gave Abraham a sheep that ate in heaven during 40 years. So it was a big white sheep, you know. So it is so ridiculous. And because yes, he told his to kill his son, and he gives a reward. Yes, you followed me blindly. Here, sheep, go. It is ridiculous. It is, and when they
Yeah.
told us this story at the mosque, I looked around. Sorry, I looked around me, and every person, every children was like, "Wow, it is a good story. Oh, it is story of Abraham. Wow." And I
Uh-huh.
was, oh, am I among the crazy? It is a crazy story. If I was the son of Abraham, I would have run away. You know, uh, it was a horror story for me that my father can kill me. It is a horror movie. It is scary, really scary. But maybe in the Jews and Christians, they don't have the same story of Abraham. I don't really know. But in Islamic, uh, in Islam, Abraham, it was history. You know.
Yeah. So this
So
was the
yeah,
start, but
yeah.
which questions were the ones that brought you out of Islam? Like, the most pressing issues, the most confusing
Mhm.
things, the thing that made you think, okay, Islam is not true. So, what was that?
Mm, Also, yes, it was in my 20s, the most serious. But I have
Uh-huh.
something else. Just when I was a teenager during the Ramadan, I used to go pray the Fajr at the mosque. The morning prayer. Uh, so during Ramadan, I used to go pray at the mosque, and one man he told me, "You have to love Muhammad more than your parents, more than your children, more than your country, more than yourself." And so I was thinking, why? I don't know him. Why do I have to love him so much? He's just a messenger. Because I understand if he tells me you have to love Allah more than your parents, I could have understood. But he didn't say that. He said, love Muhammad. And it was really weird. I said, but I never met him in my life. How could I love him more than my parents who fed me, who took care of me? It is not possible. And he's just a messenger. He's like a delivery man. you know. He's a delivery man. He's just a man. Why should I love him more than my parents? Because I had a lot of love for my parents. So I said, no,
Yeah.
I love my parents more. But I stayed Muslim. I stayed Muslim because I could not, I didn't have, I could not conceive the idea to leave Islam. It was not in my brain, in my head. I could not imagine leaving Islam. It was not even an option. Apostate, I didn't know this word. Ex-Muslim, I didn't know. It was just like Muslim. It was my race. My, you know,
Yeah. For a
it's like
lot
my
of the
race. I
people,
cannot quit. Yeah, yeah.
for a lot of people who live in the West, the Muslims, Islam is not
Mhm,
a religion for them. It's a race for them.
mhm. So
Yeah.
I
So,
cannot
Sohail,
quit. I cannot leave my race. Yeah.
a question
Mhm,
is Amir Apostate has said, Amir or Amir, Soleil, what makes me think with Charlie Hebdo was the reaction of Muslims against it, showing a lack of freedom of expression. So I think he's asking you, or he's commenting here, that the reaction of Muslims towards Charlie Hebdo is basically lack of freedom of expression. So
yeah.
I
I
agree
know
with you
him.
on this point that some of the Muslims have turned more extreme because of cartoons or because of blasphemy. But the
Mhm,
other problem is that Muslims don't understand that blasphemy is freedom of expression and they cannot kill people for that. So
mhm,
that's a huge problem. And I think that's why blasphemy is very important, because later on, if blasphemy just keeps going on, I think maybe in 20, 30 years, Muslims would gradually come to understand that, okay, blasphemy is someone other, other people have a choice to blaspheme against Islam. And that choice should be respected. If not respected, that should, at least it should be tolerated. So this is what I feel for Charlie Hebdo. So would you
mhm.
like to give a comment on this? Like,
Yeah,
why do Muslims
Amir.
don't believe in freedom of expression?
Yeah. Just to know, Amir Apostate is a friend. He's a French ex-Muslim from Morocco. He's
Uh-huh.
a friend of
Okay.
mine. And yes, we used to debate about that. Yes, the Muslim reaction was really wrong.
Mhm.
I saw in Muslim countries,
Mhm.
they were burning the French flag. They were burning the photo of Macron. They were
Mhm.
shouting, "Kill the blasphemers." It
Yeah.
is way too much. You know, in France, I never saw it. I never saw this much. But in Muslim countries, they are okay to kill blasphemers. So it is
Yeah.
really yeah, yeah. So I understand that there is a need for these caricatures. Mhm.
Yeah. So, and then Ray is saying Muslims fabricated several more cartoons to fuel the fire. They are completely shameless. A Dutch imam and the Iranian committed blasphemy, and no one said one word. Yeah, they did that. They have, like I think there were some fabricated cartoons. If Ray is saying, I don't know about those. So Soleil, so what was the
Mhm.
point when you changed?
Yeah.
Why that
Oh,
changed? Yeah,
can I say one thing before that?
sure, sure,
Because I
sure,
have
sure.
a good story. It is really interesting, just to show you how Muslims are in France. Because when I was in high school, my there was a girl. She was eating non halal food one day because it
Mhm,
was L'Eid Kabir. You know, it's a party for Muslims in Islam.
mhm,
L'Eid.
mhm.
It's when we kill a sheep. You know,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and and so the Muslims of my high school, they didn't come in the high school. They were absent. But me, I used to go. I went to the high school because my parents they were working that day because it
Uh-huh.
is not. It is a day. It is a normal day, you know. But Muslims, all my friends Muslims, they were absent. But just one girl, one Algerian girl like me, I saw her at midday, when when we eat in the high school, I don't know how
Mhm.
it's called, the cafeteria or the
Cafeteria. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
in the cafeteria, and I saw she was eating a meat that is not halal, and I was so shocked. I was so shocked that the day
Was it
after,
pork? Was
huh?
it pork?
Huh?
Was it pork?
Yes, it was a cordon bleu. I don't know how you say in English. Cordon bleu, the meal. It's,
The
it
pig.
is
The pig
French.
or the pork? Was it pork?
No,
Yeah.
no, it was not pork. No, no,
But
it
it
was
was
just
not halal. Like it was not
yeah,
takbir. Takbir was not said on it when it was slaughtered. That thing.
yeah. That's all.
Okay.
The
Okay.
animal
Okay.
was not slaughtered by a proper Muslim with the
Yeah.
proper
Yeah.
instruction, so it is non-halal. But it was
Yeah.
not pig. It was not pork. But it was a
Yeah.
meat. It's so
Yeah.
in France, we are like there is a Sharia police, but it's
Mhm.
us. It's us Muslims who are police.
The Sharia police.
We police among ourselves. We
Mhm.
look at every North African in France, and if he drinks alcohol or if he eats non-halal food, we will look at him badly, you know. And the day after this day at high school, I told some of my friends, "Oh, this girl, her name is Sarah. Sarah, she ate non-halal food, and so every Muslims they laughed and they mocked her, you know. And I regret this. I was so dumb before.
Mhm.
And so one last thing, really, really important about my doubts. When I was really small, in 8 or 9 years old, at public school in France, I had a friend. He was a Muslim friend. You know, his
Okay.
father was a convert, and he
Mhm.
told me, "You know, if you kill a Jew, you will go to heaven." I said,
Okay.
no, no. I said, no, no, no. It is wrong to kill. In the Quran, they say, don't kill. Allah doesn't like when we kill. It is wrong. And he says, yes, yes. It's if you kill a Jew, you go to heaven in paradise. I said, oh, but they didn't do nothing to us. What should we kill them? They are innocent. They never bothered me, you know. And so in high school, another Muslim friend, he told me the story, but more in details, that at the end of time, Muslims will have to kill Jews, and the weapons they will not work. You know, the firearms, the Kalashnikov, the bombs. It will not work. Nothing will work. We will fight with swords and with a bow, you know, and yes, so we will have to kill Jews with a sword. And I told him, no, it's not possible. What are you saying? You know, it is mean. It is And he said, yes, yes. And if the Jew hides behind a tree or a rock, the
Gharkad.
tree or
Gharkad.
what?
Yeah. Tree of
Yes.
Gharkad.
So,
Gharkad.
no.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
Garkad?
Yeah. It's a bush type of thing. I think some kind of fig. It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, there is a tree that is special in the story. But
Uh,
he told me, if a Jew hides behind a rock or a tree, the rock of the tree will speak and tell, "Oh, the Muslim, come, come, there is a Jew behind me, come kill
yeah. Yeah.
him." And so I did not believe it. But in my 20s, when I really read the Quran and the Hadith, I found the Hadith. I found the Hadith, the exact Hadith, who said that. I have it here.
Yeah.
Uh, sorry. I should have
What
put
is the number of this one?
I have it. I have it written normally. I will tell you. Uh, sorry, people. I have it here. I have it here. Sahih Muslim 2922. So 2922.
Okay.
Sahih Muslim 2922.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Mm.
So here it is.
So, mhm.
The last hour would not come unless the Muslims will fight against the Jews, and the Muslims would kill them until the Jews would hide themselves behind a stone or a tree, or a stone or a tree would say, Muslim or the servant of Allah, there is a Jew behind me, come and kill him. But the tree Gharkad would not say, for it is the tree of the Jews. So this is the 2922 of Sahih Muslim. So this is a Sahih Hadith.
Mhm.
So this is what you are telling. This Hadith is saying it, and this kind of thing, Hadith are all over all the seven, best collections of Hadith, the Sahih Sitta, all of them have these. So this is where it tells that in the end of times, Muslims would have to kill the Jews, and killing the Jews would be a good thing to do. You would get sawab because of this. So yeah. So what were you saying?
So yes, imagine a boy, he told me that when I was 9 years old, and I was not so fool to believe him. I said, no, it is wrong to kill, it is wrong, the violence. But when I found this hadith, I said, no, he didn't invent it. And my other friend who told me that weapons, they will not work. It was like, it will be like a Call of Duty, the PlayStation game, but without weapons. And I found this hadith. So it exists in the mosque. Sometimes they tell us, oh, in Sahih Muslim, there is a beautiful hadith who says the Prophet was a good man. So they take some hadith, but they never tell us this one. It is
They never
hidden.
tell you the ugly ones. They always tell you the beautiful ones.
Yeah. Because
they
we
never
are in
tell
France.
you, okay, there is such and such an ugly hadith in the Sahih Muslim or Sahih Bukhari. They only tell you the beautiful ones. Yeah.
And I have a story also, and then we'll go to apostasy. I have a story. I used to read a lot of books when I was young, and I went to buy the last Harry Potter, because I was a big fan. The 7.
Yeah, maybe it was back in 2007. The last Harry Potter came out. I also read it at that time.
It was because I went to the shop to buy it, and I was so happy. And I was walking in the streets with my book Harry Potter that I was kissing. Oh, I will read you tonight, and I was so happy. And then my Muslim friends, they saw me, and they told me, "Hey, Soleil, come here." And I went to say hello. And one of them, he was really good at the mosque. He knows a lot of surat. And he told me, "What are you reading? Harry Potter? Oh, it is for kids. It is for, you believe in magic. It is wrong. Harry Potter is for kids. You should read the Quran," he told me. And he was mocking me with the 10 of his friends. I was a laughing stock of the... So I was really...
Laughing stock of all of these guys, yeah.
And these guys, they don't read anything. I know it very well. They don't read, but they will mock me if I read. So you want to... for the circumcision as well. I don't know if you...
Yeah, circumcision. What about circumcision?
Also, yes, I told it to Hari Sultan as well, my story of circumcision, but it's really short. Like I was 4 years old, and my parents, they told me I had a problem in my teeth. So I had to go to the hospital. I had to go to the hospital, but I had perfect teeth, and and I didn't think, hey, for the teeth, it's not at the hospital, it's at the dentist. But I followed them, and then I woke up with a penis cut, with
Yeah. Okay.
so they tricked me, they tricked me, and then they gave me a lot of candies, sweets, and my
Yeah.
families, they were happy, you know, and it was in a public hospital in France. Uh,
Mhm.
so I think it is a mutilation now that I'm thinking about it. I know that a lot of people think that circumcision is good, is great for
It's not good.
hygiene. Yeah, but for me, I think, okay, if I follow the religious thinking, God created a human perfect. It is perfect. The body of human is so perfect
Mhm.
that it is it is obliged that Allah exists and Islam is true. But when you do a circumcision, you will correct the work of God. You will say, "Oh no, God, he forgot something. I will cut this part." So
Yeah.
it is not logical.
And secondly, when we think from the science's perspective, evolution gave us a foreskin for a reason. We shouldn't
Yeah,
cut
yeah,
it
yeah.
off. I don't think that it's an appropriate thing to do, because it helps in sex as well. It is helpful in a lot of ways. But Muslims and Jews and some Christians have brought forward this thing that, okay, circumcision is better than, circumcised is better than non-circumcised. But we know that majority of people in the world are not circumcised.
Yeah.
So all these Americans and Latin Americans and Catholics and Asians and Indians and everyone is uncircumcised and they are doing fine. You know, if you look at the Chinese and the Indians, they have reproduced more than everyone
Ah,
else.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I
they
get
are
you.
not circumcised; they are uncircumcised, and they're doing really
Yeah.
fine. Yeah,
Mm. But if there are Muslims who are listening to us, if you are circumcised, you don't have a foreskin to protect the tip of the
yeah,
penis. So
yeah,
your
exactly.
penis, he moves around in your underwear when you run, when you walk, and so it becomes dry because normally the
Yeah,
foreskin protects your
protects.
penis. So yeah, and I when I was training at soccer, at football in France, I could see
Mhm.
other men, other penis, and I saw it was different. So I could not understand why did they cut me, and then I searched, and someone told me, I didn't verify, that Abraham, he had a dream, another dream, that he had to cut his penis. And so he did it to himself at 99 years old and to
Yeah,
his sons as well.
uh-huh.
And because
Yeah.
an old man did a dream, now we have to do it.
An
And
old crazy man had a dream that
yeah,
he cut his wrist, and that's why everyone else is following his crazy dream.
and then I heard
Maybe,
that,
yeah,
yeah,
because Soleil, for that old man who was 99 years old, that damn thing was not working even. So,
yeah,
it meant nothing for him because
yeah, he,
what was he doing with that? It wasn't working
mm, mm,
anymore at 99 years old. So if
true.
he was cutting it, that was okay. It was already useless. But
Mm,
all of these guys, they're cutting their their children's penis when they are just kids, and they have to use it for their whole life. So that's just so
mm,
stupid. It's just stupid,
mm, mm.
plain
Yeah, yeah.
outrage.
So
Yeah.
I will tell
So,
you how I became an ex-Muslim. So it happened when I was 25 years old. I finished my degree at university. So I went, had a job, and I could live by myself alone, without my parents or my family. And so I started to, there is a French YouTuber. He has 100K followers. His name is Majid Ukasha, and
yeah, I know.
that
I've
he
heard about him. I've heard about him. Yeah.
So, he's an ex-Muslim, but I was not convinced about him.
Mhm.
I could not
Mhm.
believe him because he was alone, and I thought that Muslim was my race. So it was unbelievable for me to leave it. And so I had a lot of questions in my life because I have an elder sister. She started to wear the jilbab. It was a really important thing in my life, because the mosque of my city, they organized a trip to Paris to go see Mr. sorry, Mr. Tariq Ramadan. No,
Okay,
we
Tariq
talked about
Ramadan. Yeah,
him.
the guy you told
Tariq,
me about.
yeah, Tariq Ramadan. So he was doing a speech in Paris, and there was a convention of all Muslims of France. They went there,
Mhm.
during 3 days. And my elder sister, she went. She went to the trip, but me, I refused. I said, no, I have other things to do. So my sister, she went when she was 16 years old.
Mhm.
And in the trip, um, there were a lot of Muslims and young men as well. And the young man said, oh, my sisters, with the hijab, you are so beautiful, you know? And so my sister, when she came back of her trip, she began to wear the jilbab, and then she started to wear a niqab as well in France. But in France, it was banned in 2011, the niqab. But she started to wear it, the niqab, before it was banned. She used to go
Mhm.
to the city with her friends who had a niqab as well. She took photos, and I could not recognize my sister among the women.
You
You
couldn't
know,
know which one of them was your sister.
Yeah,
My God.
because it was it was black niqab with gloves, and
Uh-huh.
I could not see which one is my sister, and it was scary. It was scary. Even me, I was a Muslim, and it was scary
Mhm.
for me. So imagine for the French people.
Yeah.
So yeah, and my sister, she's a Salafi, but she's not violent. She's with the peaceful Salafi. I don't know,
Mhm.
Ummah
But
Salafiyah. What?
she still observes hijab.
What?
She still is using hijab.
Yeah. Jilbab, yeah. Jilbab now.
Yeah,
And she's
jilbab she's still
proud.
using, but hijab she cannot use.
No, only jilbab. Hijab, it's
Okay.
too short for her.
Okay. So Amir is saying, sorry, Sule,
Yeah.
I'll just interrupt you here.
Mhm.
Why do they have other brand of penis? That was my question too. So Amir, there are, the three types of penises in the world. The first one is non-Muslim, non-Jewish haram. And then the
Mhm.
second one is Jewish kosher halal. Jewish
Mhm.
kosher. Okay. And the third one is Arabic Al Habibi Halal. That is the brand of all the Muslim penises in the world. So basically,
Mhm.
for all of the rest of the kuffar, it is the kafir haram penis. And for the Jews, it's the Jewish kosher one. And for the Muslims, it's the Muslim halal one. So these are the three brands of penis in the world. Maybe that was the thing that got you thinking, okay, what is wrong with my penis? It doesn't have that skin in front of it. So that can give you a shock sometimes. So that's it. Okay, so Sole, yeah, please continue.
So yes, I began to read the Quran because I never read it before in French entirely in my life. I used to
Mhm.
recite it by heart during my prayers, but in fact I didn't understand the Quran. So I was a student in university, so I used to read a lot of books, and even the Bible. I started the Bible
Mhm.
because of my how do you say, of my teacher. She told me, yes, read the Bible. It was obliged. But I was
Mhm.
thinking, oh, I never read the Quran. I have to read it. But you know, the Quran, we have one in my house, but we never touched it. Because when you touch a Quran, you have to be clean. You have to do an ablution, you know.
Mhm.
So we were scared to touch the Quran if we are dirty, or so we would never touch it. You know, we are so scared of the book, the Quran, the Holy Quran.
Mhm.
So I started to read it, and I saw a lot of things that I could not I could not I could not defend. You know, as a Muslim, I could not defend what the Quran was saying. A lot of violent verses. For example, in Surah 9, At-Tawbah, verse 5 and verse 29. You know, verse 5, it says, kill the mushrikun, kill the polytheists, kill the associators. When the
Mhm.
sacred month have passed, kill the associators. And so I had a debate with a friend, Muslim. I told him, oh, it is awful. Look at this verse. He told me, no, it is a bad translation. It means a traitor. So with me, I know how to read Arabic. So I read it. It says mushrikun in Arabic. And it means someone who prays other things than Allah. So even the Christians, they think Jesus is God. So even the Christians are mushrikun. Even the
Yeah.
Chinese, even the Japanese, the Indian, everyone is mushrikun.
Is Yeah.
So I could
Yeah.
not understand. So I started to watch ex-Muslim content in
Mhm.
English, because in French, I told you, there was one YouTuber, but I didn't like it very much. So it was, if I didn't speak English today, I would still be a Muslim, you know, because in English there are so many contents, you
Yeah.
know.
There's a lot.
So I started with the Apostate Prophet, and
Uh-huh.
then with Haris Sultan, then with uh,
Abdullah
I used
Samir.
to
Abdullah Samir.
Abdullah Samir, yeah, Abdullah Samir, uh, and with the David Wood as well.
Yeah.
David, I used to watch him a little.
I don't like him
No, yeah, I understand why.
because
He's a
because he's a
Christian.
Christian and I'm an ex-Christian. That's why I don't like him.
I
Yeah.
understand you, yeah, for sure. So, but
So.
you know, I was so curious. I watched everyone, every ex-Muslims. And for the best for me was Examine, ex-Muslim of North America. You
Uh-huh.
know, I binge watched all their videos. It was unbelievable. And so, but I was in doubt, you know. But the more I watched videos, and I saw that these people, they didn't become a demon, they didn't become awful people. They were humans like me. So for the first time in my life, I had a window. You know, I had a window. If you want to go out of Islam, you can.
You can
And
do it.
so, yeah, and for me, the worst thing it was that apostates should be condemned to death.
Yeah.
In a perfect Islamic state, ex-Muslims, people who leave their Islamic faith, they should be killed. They, and there are a lot of hadiths about it. And even in the history, every they did it everywhere in Muslim countries. They killed apostates.
So, okay,
And even,
one minute, Soleil.
right?
Ray is asking, are we talking about kebabs? No, Ray, we are talking about sausages. The kafir haram sausage, then the Jewish kosher sausage, and the Muslim halal sausage. So we were basically talking about sausages, not kebabs. So you get me, Ray? Okay, okay, Soleil, continue, please. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, the sausage in North Africa is called merguez.
Okay,
Merguez, we say.
Marquez. Okay. Vargas.
So,
Okay. We can use that as
so,
well. Yeah.
so you know, for me, there is a sheikh who he's
Uh-huh.
an Egyptian. He's called Al-Qaradawi. Qaradawi. He's
Al-Kardawi.
no, North.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a
I've heard
sheikh,
his name.
really important sheikh in North
Uh-huh.
Africa. Everyone listens
Uh-huh.
to him. He's in Al Jazeera. You know, Al Jazeera is a North African channel of TV.
Yeah.
Big influence. Really big, huge. A lot of viewers, Al Jazeera. And so the man, he told the Sheikh Al-Qaradawi, he said, if we did not kill apostates, Islam would have ended with the death of Muhammad. So
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
it
Exactly.
was
That's true.
amazing.
He's telling the truth. He's telling the
Uh,
truth.
you know, it had millions of views, what he said. Uh, so,
Because literally,
uh,
even if
hmm,
today they don't kill
mhm,
and they don't, try to silence or try to kill or try to, wage
mhm,
jihad against the blasphemers and the apostates, Islam is dead.
mhm,
Islam is dead.
mhm,
Islam is dead.
mhm,
Because Islam will
mhm,
not be alive if these people are allowed to speak. Because apostates, I think right now what apostates and ex-Muslims are doing to Islam, it's they are digging the grave for Islam. People like you
mhm,
are
mhm,
digging the grave for Islam. Islam is just going down. Every religion is going down.
mhm,
All the religions and people who left those religions are the ones who know those religions, and they are the ones who are doing the most effective work against those religions. So the Christians who left Christianity are now the biggest critiques of Christianity. The Muslims who left Islam are the biggest critiques of Islam. So this is what is
mhm.
happening. That's why your work is very important.
Thank you. But for me, the best workers for apostasy, it's Muslim apologists themselves, like Mr. Ali Dawa. Ali
Yeah.
Dawa, he made a
Yeah.
lot of ex-Muslims, more than
Yeah.
every, and
Yeah.
Muhammad Hijab as well.
Yeah, Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawa, they are basically, both of them are halal clowns, I would say.
Mhm,
And Ali Dawa is just so stupid. I was really shocked that someone asked him a question on the speaker's corner. And they
mhm,
asked him, okay, will you give your 6-year-old to Muhammad in marriage? So he said, yes, I would. So that was like, and
yeah.
he's proud of that. He's proud of that.
Mhm,
He's so stupid and he's proud of being stupid.
mhm,
And, I feel sorry for his daughter, for
mhm,
whom he thinks that he can give her to a 52-year-old man when she's just 6 years old. That's just so stupid, so dumb, and so sad.
mhm. Yeah,
No
he
girl
doesn't
should have
have
such a
a hikmah. You know, other Muslim apologists, they say Ali Dawa and Muhammad Hijab don't have the hikmah, the wisdom, you know.
yeah. But
Mm,
they are like Muhammad. So,
yeah. Mm.
maybe Muhammad also did not had the hikmah. So, Soleil, yeah. So what happened next then?
So yes, what was really important for my apostasy also, it was to read the Surah 2, verse
Hmm.
106 about
Uh-huh.
the abrogation.
Abrogation.
Abrogation, it means when Allah changes his mind, the past verse is abrogated, is cancelled.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I could not believe that in his sacred book, Allah would change his mind. It is Surah 2, verse 106. It was a huge deal for me, this verse. Even
Yeah. So
more than the violent.
this one.
Yeah,
Surah Baqarah,
yeah.
verse number 2, never do we abrogate any sign or cause it to be forgotten. So, sign here is a verse of Quran. Unless we bring one better than it or similar to it. Have you not come to know that Allah is all powerful for everything? So, here Allah is basically saying that He replaces one verse of Quran with a better one. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I could not believe it that God changes his mind.
Yeah, exactly.
It is impossible. The perfect being who knows the past, the future, he knows everything. He changes his mind. Oh, now first, you will not drink alcohol during your prayer.
Yeah.
You don't go to prayer. Um, how do you say someone who drinks alcohol?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't go to pray when you are drunk.
drunk, drunk. That's it.
Yeah.
And then, oh no! Finally, you will not drink alcohol at all. It's
At all.
forbidden.
Yeah.
So he changed his mind.
Yeah. Allah
He
keeps on
and
changing his mind. And all
yeah.
knowing, all everything he knew from the beginning. So why didn't he make his mind correct from the start?
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. Though, you know, when you asked me what changed me from a Muslim to an ex-Muslim, it was like an anger that they fooled me. You know, my pride, uh, it's my sorry, but my pride it could not support that they fooled me. Because when I was a child, they told me Islam was the religion of my ancestors.
Mhm.
Islam is perfect. Muhammad is a better man on earth, the best example, and on and on. And when I read the Quran myself, I am angry. But they lied to me. They fooled me. So I cannot be taken for an idiot anymore. It's, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So yeah,
so,
because
yeah.
it fools you. It fools you. It makes a fool out of you. You waste your time. You know,
Yeah.
the worst thing that you worry about when you leave your religion is that how much time I wasted for this stupid shit. This is what you think. I also think about it all the time, that I wasted a lot of time in my life because of Christianity, and when I was going to the church and I was reading the Bible and I was thinking about those things. I never read anything constructive till I was a Christian. It was either my course books, which I was reading at school or university, or either it was the Bible. I never read a book when I was a Christian, a useful book. I used to read some
Mhm.
novels and everything. Harry Potter, when I was a Christian, I read it, and I read all the books. So, you know, but I never read anything good. I never read Stephen Hawking and Carl Sagan and everyone. I read them much later. I had read Carl Sagan one book, but that's it. I never read anything else. So religion wasted a
Mhm.
lot of my time and my life. That is what hurts you later on.
Mhm. Oh. But at least, if I may say, at least you Christians, when you did a prayer, you understood what you were saying, and you had
Yeah,
a real meaningful thing to say. Even if you speak to no one that God doesn't exist, if at least you understand. But imagine in Islam, you must pray in Arabic. It is forced. It is obliged. It is because when I did the prayer, I told you I liked it very much when I was 7 years old. But when I was 14, 15 years old, it was so boring. It was boring. It was mechanical. It
yeah,
was like a robot. A robot.
yeah. You had to
Uh,
just go into the mosque and recite the same words and just come back. That's it.
so yes, and the verse I did not understand because my native language is French. So I asked to an imam once that why can't we pray in French? Because I want to tell things to God. I want to communicate with Him sincerely with my words. He told me no. It is in Arabic.
Yeah,
No. But I said, but God, He's a polyglot. He's a He knows every language. I
yeah,
can pray in French. He told me no. He told me, you speak Arabic, but you think in French. And I tried. but it's not it's not possible.
How would that
It's
work? How would that work? That would not work. That's a stupid thing to say.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a stupid thing to say. Like, and this is basically Arab imperialism.
Yeah, yeah.
Like all of us Zimmis or all of us Ajmis, we don't understand Arabic, and we are praying in it. So that's a stupid thing. And for Christianity also, for the Catholic Church, they kept everyone praying in Latin for a very, very long time. But later on, when the Renaissance came and Martin Luther King's revolution, only then they started to, preach people in their own languages and everything. And, prayer was in that. Even still in Vatican, when the Pope is having a church service, it is in Latin still. It's in Latin. Latin is a dead language. They're still doing it in Latin. So it's like the less they understand about religion, the more they are going to respect it. So that's the main goal here. To keep it in French, to keep it in Latin, to keep it in Arabic, to keep it in Sanskrit, no one would understand and everyone would respect. But as soon as they start to understand what it means, it starts losing respect because it's stupid.
Yeah,
What they're saying is stupid, and people will start to judge that. That's why.
Imagine because we are speaking English. Imagine an imam, he prays in English. Oh, after the sacred month have passed, kill the polytheist.
Yeah, kill the polytheist, or your wives or your farms, and you can plow them at any time, and this and that. Like, if they say that your wife is your farm, then the guy would be thinking, so when I have sex, am I plowing my fields or I'm harvesting? What am I doing? So these guys would start to think about that. And, maybe some of the guys would think, okay, my wife is a farm and I am a pig in that farm. Some of them would start thinking about that as well. So these are very extremely stupid things that are written in the Quran and even in the other books as well. So that's the stupidity of it. Yeah.
For example, there is a verse that was really ridiculous for me, a surah 111.
Okay.
It is about Abu Lahab.
Yeah. That's the stupid one. That's the stupid one. And I keep making jokes about these things. I'll tell you my joke. First you tell me, then I'll tell you my joke about Abu Lahab.
Abu Lahab and his wife, the carrier of wood. He insults them. The Allah insults the uncle of Muhammad for eternity. Look at what they are saying. Surah 111. It has a few verses.
I have just opened it, but I need to close these Urdu translations that are underneath because they are just too many right now. So I just want to get rid of it that we can. So may the hands of Abu Lahab be ruined, and may he be ruined. His wealth did not avail him, and he did not did what he earned. So Allah wants to break the hands of Abu Lahab. And still Abu Lahab's hands are not broken.
And his wife too. The wife, why is she cursed? No?
Yeah. And he will roast in flaming fire while his wife, the firewood carrier, around her neck is the rope of palm fiber. So Allah is saying that. And in Quran, Allah is saying that Abu Lahab's hands should be broken. But Abu Lahab's hands were never broken. When he died, his throat was slit, but his hands were not broken. So Allah is cursing Abu Lahab, and the curse did not work. Such a stupid thing it is.
It's I heard a conference in French in Canada about I think it was an ex-Muslim who was speaking, but I will tell you it's really important. But in France, no one says he's an ex-Muslim. I will tell you why. So he tells Abu Lahab is the man the most insulted in the history of the world. Because the surah, there are children in North Africa, they are forced to learn it by heart to get their diploma. It is obligatory. So every children, they curse Abu Lahab. Imagine, he's insulted for eternity. He's insulted.
My
It is
God.
comic. It is comical.
So I made a joke about Abu Lahab, you know. So Allah wasn't able to break Abu Lahab's hands. And you know, let's say, and Allah killed him. But it would have been a bigger problem for Abu Lahab if Allah would have broken his hands. Because then, whenever he would want to masturbate, he would remember that Allah had broken my hand.
Oh.
So Allah was stupid. It would have been better if he had broken his hands, and whenever the damn guy would want to masturbate, he would see his hands and he would say, "Oh, my God, I cannot masturbate," and he would know the true power of Allah. You know?
No,
So
I
Allah
thought
did not do that. Allah was stupid.
You know, I thought you would have told me that if he breaks his hands, he will not work and he will be poor and miserable. But I did not imagine this.
Not allowing a guy to masturbate is a bigger, you know, bigger quest than making him poor.
It is a punishment.
But Allah was so stupid. Allah never thought of that. You know, it is I who is thinking about this. Such a stupid thing to do. And you know, Amir is saying, religion does its best to fill the spaces, to avoid leaving time for reflection or other learning. Fortunately, it is not always effective. Yeah, that's the sad reality. Religion is not effective. I think in today's world, it is just so ineffective that we cannot even say that we can say that it is effective. It's not effective anymore. It causes more damage than the good it does. So, yeah, you're so Soleil. What?
Yeah, I have
when did
something
you
else.
realize that you were not a Muslim anymore, and what happened at that point?
Yes, it was. I was 25 years old, and I was really searching a lot of hadiths, a lot of verses. Really, I had too much. There were too many problems in Islam. I could not defend it. And so one night I went to walk in the street near a forest at night. And so I prayed Allah. You know, I recited the Surah Fatiha in Arabic, and I asked Allah to show me a sign. You know, it is really dangerous, because if he showed me a sign, I would still be. But you know, I asked him, please make it that you are true, and nothing happened. Allah, he was sleeping maybe, so I gave up. Really, I could not. No, it is not a good religion. And you know, when you doubt, I am Muslim because I was born in a Muslim family, you know. So what a luck I have that every other people, the non-believers, that will burn in hell for eternity, but me, because I am born in a Muslim family, I am saved. I have what a coincidence! I have the only true religion in the world. You know, in the mosque, I tell you, in France, they tell us we are the best. We are the best people. We are the best of the creatures. The others, they are the worst of creatures. They are bad. You know, there are a lot of hatred that I could not understand. Hatred towards the non-believers. And I hated it. I don't hate non-believers, Christians, atheists, because I live in France. I know all my friends, I know they have a good heart. I know that they cannot burn in hell forever, you know. And so when the Muslims, because I used to listen to the Muslims, the apologists in French or English, a little, and they say that if you are not Muslim, you have no morality. You have zero morals. And I disagree. Because, you know,
Yeah,
the Muslims in debate, they tell me, oh, now you're an ex-Muslim, you can sleep with your mother and with your
yeah,
grandmother, and you can kill everyone. I tell them, no. Why
yeah.
is that? I have my moral doesn't depend on Islam anymore. I don't need Islam to have my principles, you know, to have strong values. I don't need Islam. Islam did not bring anything. They just copied the Christians and the Jews. So if I don't want to kill, I don't need Islam. Because Christians brought values, Jews brought values, the pagans had values, everyone has values. So you know what they are saying, Muslims right now? They say if the world, in the world, the West is destroying himself because there are transsexuals, homosexuals having sex in the street. I said,
Yeah.
where?
Yeah, where are they having
Where?
sex in the street? Yeah, because
I
they
never.
always think their view of the West is what they see in the porn. This is
Yeah.
what they think. Because they watch too much Western porn and then they think, okay, this is the West. Because the most content that they consume from the West is basically the Western porn. They don't know anything else about the Western society. So you always judge someone by something that you know best about them. So they know the Western porn the best. That's why they are always thinking in those terms. That's the problem. It's the same in Pakistan. It's the same in Pakistan. This is what they think all the time.
And for the Horis, do you want to talk about the Horis? The
Yeah,
72 virgins in heaven?
yeah,
You know, when I was young, I read a comic book. No, it's not a comic book. Yes, it is a comic book, I think. It is called Persepolis. It is about
uh-huh.
Iran. It is a girl.
Mhm.
She tells her story of Iran, how they were forced to wear the hijab and the jilbab under Islamic law, and that the boys in school to tell them to go to war against Iraq. They tell the boys, don't worry, in heaven you will have 72 virgins. And so when I read it, I was still Muslim. I said, no, it is a lie. It is not written in the Quran. You know, I was the first to say it is not in the Quran, but I never read it. You know, it is a specialty of French Muslims. French Muslims, they tell you it is not written in the Quran, but they never
And they've
read the
never read
Quran.
it
Yeah.
themselves.
So they
So
are
I
too
think it's a
strong.
specialty of Muslims everywhere, not only in France. It's everywhere because they do they do it all the time. Labelle is saying "Solat Soleil, Salut Soleil." I think.
Oh, I know her.
Yeah.
Hello,
I
Label.
later on knew because she's a very good friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, and I later on I learned that it was her that you interviewed. I did not know.
Yeah.
When I talked with you the first time, I did not know that it was her that you interviewed. So only later on I learned that it was Labelle that, and she's a very dear friend of mine.
Oh, it's her who told me that that you are an ex-Christian, but it's like an ex-Muslim because you grew up in Pakistan with with Islam at school, and she told me a lot of good things about you. So I decided to come here, and you were really
Yeah,
cool to let me talk. You know,
yeah. So
so thank you.
I'll thank Labelle for introducing me to you. You know. Okay, so when did you finally decide that you are not a Muslim anymore, and what happened then?
Yeah. So I left Islam, but I could not keep it to myself. It was too big in my life.
Mhm.
You know, it's like imagine you have a child, or you build a house, or I don't know, something meaningful in your life. It is so big, you cannot hide it. So I told it to my Muslim friends first. I told them, "Oh, guys, will not believe it. Islam is it's not what we were thinking." Because
Yeah.
among my Muslim friends, I had the most knowledge about Islam. Even when we were in high school, during our breaks, we would go to the mosque, and I would be the one to teach them how to clean, how to do an ablution, how to pray. And I used to lead the prayer among like 5 friends of mine. So they had trust in me. But when I told them, they they didn't like it. So we had debates, but really we were getting emotional, angry. So I stopped to talk with them. Yes, so now we are not friends anymore because we are too different.
Yeah, that's the main problem. That basically, once the Muslims learn that you've left Islam, they don't like you anymore.
Mhm,
Like my friends who were Christians,
mhm,
they came to know that I was not a Christian anymore. I was an atheist. The friendship was still there. They never bothered about like that. But for Muslims, it's very difficult because the kind of society that it is.
mhm.
That's the problem. So those guys are not your friends anymore now.
No, no. Even
Not
me,
even one of them.
myself,
Not even one of them.
uh, a little, a little. Yeah, sometimes I see them and we go play football, but
Uh-huh.
it's really rare, rare. It's not like before. There is
Yeah,
an
it's weird.
before and after. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
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 so,
imagine what happens in Pakistan or back in Algeria, because that is
yeah.
where it's really difficult. In France, they cannot force you to that. In some of the
Mhm,
countries, even they have a punishment for apostasy, death penalty.
mhm,
Like in Maldives and some other countries, there is. Even in Saudi Arabia, there is a death penalty for apostasy. You say that
mhm,
you left Islam, you can be killed for that. Yeah.
mhm. So yeah, but I could not tell to my parents that I'm not a Muslim anymore because my father, if he learns I'm not a Muslim anymore, he has a
Mhm.
heart attack. Or maybe my uncles, they can gang up and come to get me, to beat me up. Or, it is a possibility. It is so I don't. So I want to protect myself and not tell
Yeah,
everyone.
sure, sure. The
But
safety is the first priority.
yeah.
Later on, everything else comes. So first, you
So
have to
mhm,
make sure that you're safe.
yeah. It's so I moved out like 1 hour from my city where I grew up because I didn't want to see my Muslim friends, and because in my city, for people, I am still Muslim. They think I'm Muslim, so they say Salam Alaikum for Ramadan and everything. So I moved out. I could not breathe because I wanted to start anew. I wanted to build. I wanted to start a new life as an ex-Muslim because in my
Mhm.
city I know everyone and I belong to the Muslim community in my city. So I had to move out to think, to protect myself, for my mental health. So now I'm in a new city, but then everyone thinks I am Muslim because I
They
am
still
North.
think that you are Muslim. They still think you're
Yes,
Muslim.
yes, because I am North African.
Uh-huh.
I am Algerian. So
Uh-huh.
every Algerian is Muslim uh, uh, for people in France. So French people, white people, I tell them I left Islam, and you know what? one colleague of mine of my job, he told me, "Oh, you are a fake Arab." A fake
That's so
Arab.
stupid. That's so stupid.
Yeah. So first of all, I am not Arab. I am North African. First of all,
Yeah.
things that I learned because I didn't know it. I learned a lot of things when I became an ex-Muslim. I didn't know that my ethnic was North. I thought I was an Arab. You know, North African.
Yeah.
They think they are Arabs. Really. So there is an
Yeah.
ignorance. Uh, so yeah. So my friend he said to me I was a fake Arab, and so I told him, but what is a true Arab? Because I was eating during the Ramadan, with them. And he told me, well, but a real Arab, he does the Ramadan. It is really, every time I have to explain myself. It is tiring. I don't want it anymore. Because there is written Muslim on my forehead. I'm tired of that. But I have to live with it. So now I tell at my job, at my friends, my new friends, I tell them I am not a Muslim, but they forget.
They keep forgetting that you are not a Muslim.
Yeah.
So, do you eat pork and non-halal food now?
Non-halal food, yes, but pork, I
And
tried it, but I didn't like it. It was maybe it is psychological,
yeah,
but
it's
I hated
psychological, I
it,
know.
so I don't need to eat it, because
And
I
what
think
about
you have
liquor?
to
What about drinking? You
alcohol.
drink? Yeah,
I can drink, but one glass. One glass. I
yeah.
cannot
You
drink
don't
two
drink too much.
glasses of. No, no, no. I hate it. I can drink one glass. One glass, it is enough because
Uh-huh.
for I do it for health also. You know,
Hmm.
because there are some alcohol who are really good, like the cocktails and everything are really good, but I don't want to become a drunkyard.
Yeah, no
So
one
I
needs to
limit
become, you know. Yeah,
one
that's
glass
the
with moderation and not more.
yeah. So that's okay. So Soleil, should we give the link
Yeah,
and maybe a few people would like to ask you a few questions and we will quickly take
yeah,
maybe 20 minutes of questions and then we are going to end. So
okay.
yeah. So guys, I'm giving you guys the link. If you want to join and you want to ask some quick questions to Soleil, we can talk to you, but keep your
Mhm.
questions, precise, respectful, and Soleil is going to answer them. And in 20 minutes or so, we are going to end this live stream.
Mhm.
Okay, so there were Ghalib, you should do a live stream with genetically modified skeptics. Maybe I'll try, but these guys who are running these big channels, they are very busy most of the time. So
Mhm.
I can reach out, but I don't know if they would have the time to come to me and talk to me, or I can go to them. So maybe I'll drop an email and check if some of them he's interested. I'll definitely check. Yeah. And okay, so far no one has joined. I've given you guys the link. So if you guys want to, or otherwise you can ask the questions in the chat as well. Ask Soleil if he knows anyone like himself in his community. So Soleil, do you know anyone else who has left Islam and ex-Muslim
Mm,
from your previous
no,
community?
no, no. In my real life, no. So I
Uh-huh.
didn't tell you something important. When I left
Uh-huh.
Islam, I was all alone during a long time because I became an ex-Muslim when I was 25 years old. Now I am 28. So it's 3 years. But really, I was doing 2 years. I could not
Mm-hmm.
find people like me. Really,
Mm-hmm.
I searched, I didn't find. So I
Yeah.
created a group on Discord, and a
Uh-huh.
lot of ex-Muslims they could contact me. Because I
Mm-hmm.
felt lonely. I felt alone. So I wanted to create a group. And then there's this group. Now it still exists. We are 400 ex-Muslims in the group, and it is a big, big thing. So, and now I know a lot of ex-Muslims, and it's thanks to them that I had the courage to create a YouTube channel and do a testimony. You know, really, the sense of community, it's really, it gave me a good strength. I don't know if you, Khalid, if you began alone without support
For I'll tell you,
your channel.
I became an atheist in 2009.
Yeah.
For the next 4 years or 5 years, I did not know anyone who was an atheist.
Oh.
Did not know anyone. And only in 2013, I learned some about a group that is Pakistani free thinkers on Facebook. And then I am still one of those people who run that group. So that group had almost 50,000, 60,000 members at one point.
Oh.
But it was banned by Pakistani government 11 times till now. It has been banned 11 times. Can you imagine? 11 times. Still it's banned. And I think last month, Facebook just blocked my ID. So the ID that I had since 2014 is now blocked. I had almost, 5,000 friends and some 7,000 followers on that ID. Or that ID is now blocked. No one can contact with me now on Facebook because I have no Facebook ID anymore. But now, I am not that much active on Facebook as well because I'm always on YouTube. So I don't have time for Facebook, but it was always good to keep in touch with people who are in touch with me on Facebook, but it's not there anymore. So that's the problem. So Facebook is like, one of the worst places for free speech. So there is someone by the name of ex-Muslim Zishan. We are going to talk to him. Hello.
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 Hi, how are you?
आदाब नमस्कार कैसे हो सर?
हाँ जी ठीक, but this is an English stream, Soleil wouldn't be able to understand Urdu, so you would have to speak in English.
Okay, for sure. I am a little bad in English. So just accept it. So yeah, I am an ex-Muslim.
Do you have any question for Soleil?
I'm sorry, I don't know what is the topic of stream. I just see
Actually,
that
this is not a regular stream. This is basically Soleil told us his story that how he left Islam. So he's a French Algerian ex-Muslim. So if you have any question for him, that would be the best thing to do right now. If you want to do some general discussion, you can come on Sunday and talk to me. Right?
Okay. I will come on Sunday.
Okay. Then thank you. See you around. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, Fauji serial is there.
I have a story that I didn't tell you. Yeah.
Sure. Fauji serial.
Want me to?
Yeah, you can tell it right now. Let's see if Fauji serial is there. Hello, Fauji serial. Hello.
Hey guys, Galip, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. No issues. Soleil, welcome to humanity, to sanity, and rationalism.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I'll go straight to the question. Did at any point in time you felt as if you have gone through a shockwave, like the transition from being a Muslim to an atheist? Did you actually feel that something is happening to you, or something wrong or really, really terrible is happening to you?
You mean when I became an ex-Muslim?
Yes, correct. Yes.
In fact, it was not. Yes, I was telling the story that one night I prayed to Allah to give me a sign, but He didn't give me any sign. It was that the strongest, but it was a kind of disappointment, But it was so slowly that I left Islam, because it is a year-long process. It's years of process. So it was not a strong one, it was slow, and so it happened naturally, I want to say, because I had so many elements on Islam. It was the most, it made sense. It made sense. But what was the strong moment? It's when I could not tell my father because he's too strict, and sometimes he shouts at me, "Why are you not praying? You are a bad Muslim." And so I cannot say anything. I have to lower my head. I have to shut my mouth. I want to speak, but it is not possible. My father, he cannot comprehend. He cannot understand my choice. So yes, the biggest moment, it's when I am so frustrated because I think that I live in fear that my father knows it. I don't know how he will react. I think it will be violent. I am worried. But no, as I became an ex-Muslim, it was a long process, really, because I had a lot of doubts since I was a kid. When I was telling the story of Abraham, I had a doubt. But I had 1.7 billion Muslims against me, so I had not the confidence. I had no confidence in myself. Like I am the one who is an idiot. I am the one who is a fool because 1 billion thinks the same way. So if someone is wrong, it is me because I am alone. But I had a lot of doubts since childhood. And when I was 25, it's like it was natural. It was natural. I had so many things that I became an ex-Muslim without knowing it. It was obvious.
Yeah.
So thank you. So yes, thank you for the detailed explanation. So there was a little bit of intimidation in your life from your father's end. So I can clearly see that the violence is a predominant tool that that our families, our cultures, our societies they use to subjugate us to keep following this political cult called Islam. I don't even really want to call it a religion because having seen Ghalib and myself, we come from the same country, same background. The only difference is that he's a Christian, I'm a Muslim, used to be. But we can clearly see that violence is the only tool that has helped propagate this this political cult to this level. And if we get rid of the violence, of course, the numbers on our side will, of course, increase. Having said that,
Yeah.
but I wanna ask you a funny question. I've never asked this to anybody. When people in Algeria, when they read Quran, how do they react to the funny verses in Quran, like "Oh Abu Layb, may your hands be broken"? I don't know how to say that in Arabic, but you know what I mean. So when people read that text, how do they react to that text? And of course, there are tons of other Quranic verses also. So please answer that question. Thank you.
So in Algeria, generally, Muslims, when they see something wrong with their religion, they will shut their mouth and be scared. Like, for example, I had a testimony in Morocco, really important. At school, they had a woman teacher. They were studying Islam, and so they were talking of Aisha, of the child wife of Muhammad,
Of the
who was six.
Yeah.
Yes, who was 6 years old, and he consummated when she was 9.
9 years old. Yeah.
And then at one moment, they were reading something about Aisha, and they came across a hadith that said that she was married at 6 years old. And then the whole classroom, they were shut in silence. Nobody dared to ask a question. Like it was obvious. Everyone was thinking, wow, 6 years old. It's too young. Everyone, but they forced to stop thinking. So silence, and then we will move on to another subject. So, there is a force. There is a heavy thing that everyone is afraid to say something, to criticize Islam. So when this happened, after this, the Moroccan, he went to the break with his friends, and no one talked about it. So there is a fear, there is silence, and in Algeria it's the same. When there is a problem with Islam, like the ridiculous surah of Abu Lahab, no one talks about it because it is forbidden. They are afraid to. I don't think they are afraid of the police, but they should be. But they are afraid of the mass, of other Muslims, because if you say something wrong, they will look at you, and they will. It will be the end for you. You will not have friends anymore. You will be seen as a shaitan, as a devil. So having a doubt is a weakness in North African thinking. Having a doubt, it means you are weak. Like Muhammad Hijab, he says it. Muhammad Hijab, he is strong. His faith is strong. And one doubt, you are a weakling. You see?
Yeah. So Fauji Serial, thank you. We'll move on.
Can I ask one more question, please?
Okay. Just keep it precise. Actually.
Yes, very short.
Yeah, okay.
Very short.
Yeah.
Very short question. What do Algerian or Arab Muslims think about Indian or Pakistani Muslims?
So first of all, in North Africa, in Algeria, there are a lot of movies from Bollywood. Like Devdas, like Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham, Virzara. All the movies of Bollywood, we have it in North Africa because there are not sex scenes. Indians, they have movies which are halal. But
halal. Yeah.
Well, it is halal because you don't see them kissing.
Yeah,
you
you
don't
make
see
me
them
laugh,
having
halal.
sex. Like in Hollywood. Hollywood.
Indian movies Bollywood movies are haram in Pakistan, but they are halal in Algeria, Islamic Algeria. Yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah. It is halal because they have a choice. They can, because Algerian, they are so bad for making movies. So they take movies of international, and in Hollywood, it is too haram, and so they take Bollywood, and but they cut the scenes. If someone kisses, they cut it. If I think maybe when you see the statues of the goddesses in Devdas, for example, they cut it. They make it more halal.
Okay, so they cut out the Hindu religion from those movies.
But for in Algerians, when they see Indians praying, Hindus, they don't like Hindus because they are polytheists. So they are the worst of the creators. So I think the Muslim Algerians, they hate all polytheists. Yeah.
Okay.
But they like Bollywood.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Fauji Serial, thank you. We'll
thank you,
move
guys.
on.
Thank you for having
We
me
will
on your
take
show.
just one more caller and then we'll end. Okay, Fauji Serial, thank you.
Doing the great work, and Ilhad Zindabad.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
He had really good questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Tangelo is there. Hello. Hi.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And you guys?
Good.
Hello.
So, what do you want to say?
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm a Christian, an evangelical Christian, and my question is, how do you go from Muslim to atheism?
In fact, I am not really an atheist. I am more than an agnostic. Agnostic, you say that. I am agnostic, but I tend to atheism. But how do I? Because when I realize that the Quran and that was false, because in Muslims think Quran is the word of God. So when you see one mistake, one comma wrong, it means the whole thing is human. It is not divine. It is not from God. But I was not interested to convert to Christianity because I thought there are a lot of myths, like Jesus walking on the water. But how I became an agnostic because I could not stay a Muslim because I do not believe in Allah anymore. I do not believe in Muhammad. So if I'm not a Muslim anymore, I cannot be nothing, So I think my philosophy made me an agnostic.
I have a lot of conversations with, especially with atheists, but also a few Muslims. And that is something which the line of reasoning which you are applying here is something which I see very frequently. It is, I was a Christian or a Muslim or whatever, and I started to investigate and start to doubt, and I saw contradictions, and the God presented there isn't not plausible anymore. And then they lose faith, but they get into a vacuum, let's say. Like you say, I'm an agnostic now, But if you say that atheism, I don't know what Khalib is. Are you an atheist or also an agnostic?
I am an atheist. I would say I'm an agnostic atheist. And I don't know if you know that I was a Christian. I was not a Muslim. I am from Pakistan. I was a Christian, born into a Catholic family, turned Protestant, was in the Baptist church, was in the Full Gospel church for a while. Then for the last almost 13 years, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Christianity. I've studied Islam in depth, and I've also studied Christianity in depth as well.
Say this.
I'll be glad to talk to you about Christianity anytime, you can come to me and you can talk to me.
If you want to have a solid worldview in regards of origins, you need first to have a solid epistemological framework upon which you actually investigate origins. And that framework is, in my understanding, based on philosophy, theology, and science. And if you want to warrant the belief that naturalism is true or atheism, strong atheism is true, then you need actually, rather than just being able to refute theistic beliefs and claims, you need to be able to provide a worldview which stands on its own, where you can say, I think that the no-God hypothesis explains our origins and our existence in a more case-adequate and rational manner than theistic claims. And you have basically a dichotomy here. Either God, which I wouldn't say it is Yahweh or Allah or whatever, just an eternal, intelligent, powerful, creative agent exists or not. This is basically the basic.
Actually, I don't agree with that. I think there are a lot of problems with what you are saying here, because we don't need to give a system or a replacement for Christianity. We are not talking about religion. We don't even want to talk in the means of a worldview, what you say in German, Weltanschauung. We don't need that. We are just talking about what is true and what is false. And we know that there are a lot of things in the Christian faith that are absolutely false on the merits of science, logic, philosophy as well. And the Bible contradicts itself like, like no other book in the world. And Quran also does the same. So when you think that, okay, I would need to provide a complete system to govern the world, or maybe to tell people what they need to do, I think if Christianity told us that, or any other religion for the matter of say, then you wouldn't need an American constitution or a French constitution or a law of any country, because we know that these laws and these constitutions exist because religion fails to provide human beings with a complete way how to live their life, how to govern the society and everything. So religion, if you think is something complete and we need to give a complete replacement for it, then you would first have to prove to us that it's a complete thing. But the society itself, the global order itself, the American order, the New World Order, and even the British order, the old one, was both prove that Christianity was insufficient. And even the Muslim order proves Sharia is insufficient, because none of the Muslim countries have Sharia anymore. And any country that has Sharia, it fails to govern itself. So if you think that we would need to provide something that is very complete and we would have to provide a replacement for Christianity, no, we are not talking about that. We are just talking about what is the truth and what is false. And, I am more than willing to believe in your God, but you would have to convince me. You would have to give me some evidence for that. If you can give me evidence, I'll just right now I'll become a Christian. But you would have to give me evidence for that. That is what.
You said what is relevant, and I agree with you on that. What we want to know, what is the truth, right? We want to know in regards of our existence what actually is true. And we cannot provide either proofs or absolute certainty in regards of the God proposition, and neither in regards of the no God proposition. And I wouldn't say that it is in time to talk about Christianity or Islam. It is in the first place, in a cumulative approach. The first question is, what explains our existence better, an intelligent agent or not? And we can come to that conclusion when we look around us, observe the natural world, and then say, okay, what are the signs of an intelligent intervention? What are things that we know that intelligence can do that non-intelligence cannot do? And when we look into the world, then we can actually see if we see signs of past intelligent action or not. Okay, so I think that if you look into the natural world, there are so many indications that an intelligence is actually necessary. And that is evidence that a creator of some sort, I'm not saying the Christian or the Muslim God, but an intelligent agent has to have been involved in creating the created order.
Yeah, but the problem is you would have to give us evidence for that creator. Science is not something. Science are basically, gut instinct does not work when we talk about how the universe works. Or, anecdotal evidence does not work. We don't need anecdotal evidence. We need evidence that truly proves, like, when you prove that an electron exists, you have a lot of evidence. You have, atom smashers or the particle colliders for a very, very long time that have discovered electrons and all kinds of quantum particles. And at least we require that kind of certainty for God. If you cannot give us, then, and secondly, let's say you think, okay, there is not enough evidence for God and there is not enough evidence to disprove God. But the problem is, you are claiming that there is a God. You would have to provide us with the evidence. Secondly, secondly, the reasoning is you have to think of this thing that it is not my duty to believe in God if he doesn't provide me with the evidence, because it would be dishonest of me to believe in a God when there is not enough evidence or there is not convincing evidence. My honest position would be to have a look at the evidence and go wherever it leads me to. And as far as I see the evidence, and you are saying the natural order of things in the world, or they lead us to a God, they don't. because I would definitely require more evidence, and there is no evidence, from the theist side for a God. I would definitely require some evidence that I can honestly stand on that evidence and say that, okay, there is a God. But I don't see that kind of evidence. Anecdotal evidence does not count. Order is not, order is not a sign of intelligence, because if order was a sign of intelligence, then maybe we should have had life on Mars as well. We should have had life on Venus as well. But we see that life and all the magic of life and the magic of creation, the so-called creation that you see on this earth, is basically because Earth is a habitable planet and it exists at just the right spot from the sun. And if it were not here and then there was life there, then maybe we would think, okay, maybe some engineer or some God or someone has created life in such circumstances where it must not exist. But if life exists in those circumstances where it should exist, then it's not a miracle. It's not an intelligent design or something like that. So it's a very long discussion. I would like you to, if you can join me on Sunday, or you can email me, and I'll definitely like to have a detailed discussion with you. It's up to you. Sure. Because today it was not a general topic. I was interviewing Soleil. We wanted to tell his story today. So it's up to you. If you want to contact me with me, I'll arrange a 1 or 2 hour session with you, and we can discuss all of these matters. I would be glad to discuss all of this with you.
Yeah, you can. Actually, I'll give you my email here in the private chat, and you can email me and we can set up something, okay?
Okay. Sure. Okay, so please write the email there. I'll let go of you because Soleil and I decided on 2 hours and we are almost at that point. So I'll email you, and you can come and I can talk to you on Sunday or any other day that you want to talk to me. Okay.
All right.
Okay, Otanglo. Thank you very much.
Right.
Glad to talk to you. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
All right.
Okay, so Ray is asking, Soleil, I'm sorry because we went off topic there. So question for Soleil. Some ex-Muslims jump from Islam to another religion. Did you ever have that temptation?
So for me, no, never. I will tell you why. Because I was fooled once and don't want to be fooled twice. Really, I don't want to be fooled twice. Once, it was not my choice. I was born in Islam, I gave my heart to Allah because my father told me. And when you are a child, you listen to your father, to your family. But fooled once, not twice. Twice.
You fool me once. Yeah. You are the fool. Yeah. You fool me twice. I am the fool. So basically, we don't want to be fooled by religion twice. So that's I think that's. But that's a very good note to end this. Yeah, and there was one story that you wanted to tell me, but I kept interrupting you. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No. But I like the person of Jesus. I like it very much. I think when you compare to Muhammad, it is day and night. So Jesus, I like his philosophy, like no violence. I like it. But in the religion of Christianity, I am not convinced because it is like because I loved the Greek mythology with Hercules, Achilles, with Pegasus. Pegasus, it's like Alburak, the horse with the wings. So I liked it very much. And for me, Jesus, when they tell you he walked in water, he resurrected, he could heal blind people, he gave them their sight again. For me, it's these miraculous things. I smell like maybe I don't want to believe it. No. So
but 2 things I'll tell you, Soleil, about Jesus, because first of all, Jesus never had the kind of power that Muhammad had. So, he died before that. Secondly, Jesus's character is very carefully crafted, because Muhammad's character was being written by the people who were not that savvy, morally savvy. They were not very intelligent in writing down his character. But the people who wrote Jesus's character, Paul and all the gospel writers, they were very well-educated, learned people. So they wrote a very highly moral character. So the Greeks, it was usually the Greeks who wrote it. Maybe the Jewish Greek diaspora, I don't know, it could be there. Paul was an absolute, Paul was a brilliantly educated man, and he was the one who laid foundation for Jesus. And then the gospel writers followed him. And what they wrote about Jesus was, and maybe Jesus was a wise guy. The real Jesus, who was maybe a Jewish holy man, not a Christian Christ kind of son of God, but a Jewish holy man who maybe claimed to be Messiah. He was a very different kind of guy from what we see in the Gospels. But maybe he said those things like, whoever slaps you on one cheek, you turn the other one to him as well. So the character of Christ is really likable. But even the New Testament has holes, or has the seeds for violent religion. Even it has the seeds of violent religion, because Christianity can be as violent as it wants to be. And I think if we talk about the most violent religion of all times, it is Christianity. It's not Islam, it's Christianity. Islam is trying to catch up, but it is Christianity, because they've killed far more people than Muslims have killed throughout the history. That's the problem with Christianity. So Islam is like quite straightforward. You can find all the flaws in Islam when you look at it. But to find flaws in Christianity, you have to be a little more subtle. Because the writing is between the lines, actually. That's the problem with Christianity.
For the ex-Muslims who became Christians, personally, I respect. I will not shame them, It is their choice if they want to leave Islam to become a Christian.
That's
because me personally, because I don't have zero business in this, I have nothing to give apart maybe logic, and but imagine, I don't know if these people they have a bad life, they are unhappy. I don't want to tell them, no, you are a fool if you become a Christian. Because, in my group, a lot of ex-Muslims, they say that if an ex-Muslim becomes a Christian, it's like leaving a prison to enter a new one, a new prison, a new jail.
True. That's true. Yeah.
But, I don't want to be harsh on them, because they are ex-Muslims like me. I don't want to be mean with them.
A few things are happening these days in the Pakistani and Indian circles. So some guys who have left Islam have now become Hindus, and they are now, peddling the BJP and Hindutva propaganda, if you know about that. They are also spreading hate and doing all of those things, and even they say that they are ex-Muslim and they are part of the ex-Muslim movement, but they are not, because the global ex-Muslim movement that we are talking about, it is basically a rational movement. It is not a Hindutva movement. So it is happening there as well. Some Christians have become Hindus, some Muslims have become Christians. All of that is going on, and these guys are doing a terrible job and destroying this ex-Muslim movement, or this rational movement that is being run in the Islamic world right now. So it is also happening. So we have to be, I am always in argument with these guys, and these guys, Hindutva these days, some of their goons, they do 6-hour live streams, 6-hour live streams against me, because I criticize Hindutva too. So this is what is happening, because basically I am strictly against dogma. If it's Christian dogma, I am against it. If it's Muslim dogma, I'm against it. If it's Hindu dogma, I will be against it. So that's the problem. The problem is like we have to be on the side of the truth. We don't want, any kind of, I don't, basically, I know that it is their choice and I wouldn't hate them for that. But I don't want them to disguise themselves and hurt this movement, the rational movement that is going on. So that is happening there. So Ray is saying, fool me once, shame on you. Yeah, sorry, Ray, I got it all wrong. Fool me twice, shame on me. Bravo. This is what I don't understand about people who keep changing religions like cigarettes. Yeah, that's how it is. So Soleil, any last words from your side? Yeah.
Yes. There is a movie called The Life of Pi, where the boy, he's Muslim, Christian, Jew, he's Hindu, he's everything. It was so he was fooled a lot of times.
Yeah. So Soleil, any last words? Any closing remarks from your side?
Yeah.
Last
I have
words.
just
any closing remarks from your side? Sorry.
I have just a funny story. And then I will have a close speech. Last thing. When I was a child, like maybe 9 years old, I used to go, when you go to school and then it is the vacation. During the vacation, you could go to like an animation colony, or how do you say, a place for children to play, when there is no school.
Kindergarten.
But
kindergarten.
Yeah. So, but I was 9 years old. So I used to go there, and we were taking a bus because we would go to the swimming pool, And at this moment, my friend Muslim, he told me that music was haram.
And now he's telling you music is haram. My God.
Yeah, at 9 years old. It is haram. Because his father, he was a crazy. He's a weird one. But so he told me music was haram. So when I went to the bus, I went to sit in a place, and then there was a girl. I was in love with her. She went just sit with me, and she told me, what is your radio, your favorite radio? Because at the moment, so I told, no, I don't listen to music. It is haram. And the little girl, she went away, and she went to sit with a friend of mine, and then so I lost her. I lost her.
So you lost the girl because of Islam, and that is what made you ex-Muslim.
Exactly. I left Islam for love.
Yeah. That's a good reason, and maybe you never got the chance to meet that girl again.
The name of the girl? Oh, I forgot.
No. Did you ever get the chance to talk with that girl again, and maybe you can tell her,
no.
okay, in kindergarten never. We wanted to talk, and I was a Muslim that time, but now now baby, I am also ready, and you are also ready. I am not a Muslim anymore, and I think music is halal. So
no, I never saw her. She was my first love.
Okay, Soleil, it was really nice talking to you.
Just I had one last thing. When I left Islam, I started to believe in myself. But really, because before that, when I believed in Islam, I didn't care what I would do in my life, because I was thinking of heaven, of paradise. So because they told me at the mosque that this life on earth, it is just a test. It is nothing. No one cares about this life. It is not the real life. The real life begins in paradise, in heaven. So I didn't care. Even my father, he told me, you can become a beggar, poor, I don't care, but you have to stay Muslim. You know, like you can ruin your life all you want, but you have to die as a Muslim. He told me. But now that I don't believe in it, I am thinking it is my only life. I want it
Yeah.
to be meaningful. I want to realize my dreams. You know, I want to go out in the world and travel. And you know, really, I have projects because it is my only life. So I don't want it to be a pitiful life, you know, a bad life. It is my only life. I want it to be a courageous life uh, and a beautiful life, you know. So yeah, because there is no heaven, there is no paradise. This life we
This
must
life is
take.
all we
Yes,
got.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
that's a beautiful thought, uh, Soleil. And we are going to see a lot of you more on my channel as well. And and keep coming. You can join any Sunday whenever you want. We can talk to you and we can have your perspective. And we can keep planning some other live streams as well on different topics and everything. So a lot
Okay.
of friends are over whenever I'm doing live streams. So I'll always like you to come whenever you have time, and that's a good
Okay.
thing. And in the end, I'll ask you just one question. That is very important. Why did you start a YouTube channel?
A really good question.
Yeah.
Because in French content, we have nothing in my views. Because I told you, if I didn't speak English, I would still be a Muslim. And so I wanted to give a window for the young Muslims of France and of French world. I want to give them an opportunity to find me because me, I could find ex-Muslim, I could find Haris Sultan, I could find apostate prophet, I could find Abdullah Samir, apostate Aladdin, Nuria Khan,
Yeah.
I could find Mim Zivid, ex-Muslim of North America. I found them. They changed my life. So I want to give a chance for French people to find
Yeah.
me and to see that I am not lying. I'm honest and I don't earn anything. I don't do this for money. I don't do this for fame. I don't care. But really, I cannot support to see the Muslims in France ignorant and for me, they deserve to have at least a decent channel to come and to really. It was I want I want that the young French who don't speak English, I want them to find me. You know,
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully you are
because
going to do
yeah,
brilliant work, and a lot of lives you are going to change. You are already changing. You are going to continue to change, and that's what we expect of you. And I really thank you for all the hard work that you put in, and we really love you for that. So
thank you,
yeah. Okay.
thank you so
So,
much.
guys, we are going to end it here. Soleil's channel is in the description of this video. You can click on the link and go and subscribe. Anyone who understands French, they can subscribe to his channel and listen to what he has to say. And I promise you that you are going to listen a lot, learn a lot, and you are going to get a new perspective. So, this is it from us right now. So, bye bye and good night. And we'll see you next time. And bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Soleil. Thank you.
Long live apostasy.
Yeah, long live apostasy, free thought.